And we're live here with the knife round, and goes to Thunderstruck. So, welcome everybody to another CS cast here with myself, Savage, and warm up.
HawpT. HawpT is my name. Yes, it's a pun of my favorite gun, HawpT, HawpT.
Well, speaking of ops, let's see if we'll get any in this game. We'll go straight into the pistol round here. Thunderstruck opting for the T side this time around, it looks like. And already we see quite a bit of utility taking advantage of the no aim punch nerf there. Well, not no, but the aim punch nerf. And opting to use a little bit less armor this time around on the T side.
Yeah, we see even on iNTACT, we see double kit on a pistol round, so they're really... I'm actually surprised VicX taking this fight towards long. Since you do have two kits, you probably want to play a retake, but he's falling back and maybe taking that mentality into account. The two terrorist players are pushed up long, rotating down danger, and the round has slowed down significantly.
And now we do see the bomb start to rotate back over toward the B bomb site, have two players up toward the drop position, and the bomb looking to maybe go out long. However, we do have three counter-terrorists waiting in the wakes. One toward the statue, two over toward the E-box and pizza position, but we do still have two terrorist lurkers in the lower A as well.
And it looks like the two players from A finally coming over to B, and we are going to see a full B execute with all five players. No shenanigans, no happy lurks coming in. Drop room being taken, excellent shot by Shiznit. Coming in here, Kai returns on the Kenny coming out of the peak room. Vegaborn trying to do some work with the P250 from Platt to find Kai behind the statue. But Kai, actually Imperius takes his head off rather. Lots of trades coming in. High speed with the quick 3. And now it is a 1v1. And he knows where Kai is. There it is. The fourth. 4 quick ones in a row for high speed. What an awesome pistol round from the Thunderstruck side there. Huge individual play from high speed. Stepping up. Getting the pistol round for his team. And look at that. 4,600.
Yeah, lots of economy there for high speed. Probably going to see the AK come out on him. We do see the Galil, actually a scout coming out. We see the Mac 10. MP7 as well. And now... iNTACT opting to buy the CZs and the Deagles and 157 as well.
Not a fan of this scout pickup. We'll have to see what he does with it, but most of the players in iNTACT are going to have armor to be able to counter that out. So he's going to need to either make some clutch headshots or else he may get deagged or find another pistol in his face very aggressively. Kemi getting flashed into the long position. Trying to clear out Enfo, who's sitting here with the Deagle. And there's going to be a shot from Enfo, and he picks up aim. That is a huge start to this pistol round for him. He does take massive damage from that nade that rained in, but that is an amazing trade if you're Enfo right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately he does take a lot of damage not having the armor. He is wanting to save for the AWP in the next couple rounds here. And now we see a few terrorists coming toward the B bomb site. We see the smoke go out onto the B platform. That's going to smoke off Broken Wall. No vision here for iNTACT. And that forces a rotation over. We're going to have 4 counter terrorists over on the B bomb site now. One will be left alone, and we do have the bomb over toward the B bomb site, but it is a little bit far back. We might have an A rotation on our hands here from Thunderstruck.
40 seconds left. Thunderstruck should be telling us soon where they're going. The bomb is slowly making its way towards A. With 4 players, all 4 remaining. Looks like they're going to be opting to spend the last 30 seconds of the round pushing up here on A.
And now we do see the rotations coming in from the counter-terrorists. Will they be able to get there in time? The terrorists are a little bit slow. They do know that one is waiting there in the danger room. That's VicX, excuse me, Vegaborn taking him down. High speed, taking one down with the CZ as well. That's an amazing headshot from him. And here comes Skull. That's a double. And almost gets the triple, but Kai picks up one more. And now we have Vegaborn left coming up the slope. And Enfo knows he's there with the Deagle and all 3 players waiting. And time runs out. And that's iNTACT looking for the kill after the round, but won't drop. And now, the rebuy from iNTACT.
What a fantastic round there, coming out from iNTACT. I mean, we saw, I believe, was that Skull sitting on the site with the, with the 5.7, picking up 2 quick ones. The terrorists just barely pushing into lower A with 30 seconds left. They don't have enough time to really clear the site aggressively with any utility they had left or anything like that. So you see them getting caught in a rough position, needing to get the bomb down. And Skull, with a quick 2 kills, really just shuts the rest of the round down for them. The remaining 2 players on Thunderstruck, there's no way they had any chance of getting the bomb down and actually winning the round.
Yeah, and it really came down to the slow play there. I think once they started the execute down into the lower A position, I really think they needed to have a little bit more sense of urgency there. Once the flashes came in and once the smokes came in, we had the smoke toward danger, and they had one player who kind of lurked around and kind of stayed around that smoke and caught VicX off guard there. That was a great job by him. But in general, they stuck around that slope area a really long time, and that bought a lot of time for the counter-terrorists to come in, make the rotation. They were able to get into position to help Skull. He picks up 2 great kills in the end there, and that really wraps up the round there.
And it almost seemed like to me that they didn't have a player watching those 2 sneaky positions on the backside, which is a huge oversight from them. I mean, it's very greedy to assume that just because you waited a long time that the A bomb site is going to be unattended.
Yeah, I think they assumed that
especially against an eco, like those pistol angles, like I almost like assume somebody's going to be playing a cheeky angle like that 100% of the time.
Well, they almost have to be. I mean, exactly. They almost have to be on the pistol. I mean, the only time you ever want to really take any type of long-range duel is now sometimes with the P250 and with the Deagle. And so you have to have some players that are going to be sitting there in cheeky angles on the side, wanting to take, you know, that quick rebuy headshot into a couple people. But now we're here on the pause, and I wonder if we have a technical pause, if we have a tactical pause coming out from perhaps Thunderstruck after they got beaten down there in the second round.
Well, nothing in chat, so I think this may have been a pause to keep your team from tilting. I mean, that was if you're Thunderstruck, especially after having that big 4K to bring back your pistol round in a round that you think you should be able to take, getting, you know, almost triple killed by one player on site with a 5-7 can be very, very frustrating. So maybe they just wanted to reset the momentum, let everyone's nerves die down, and get back into the match. But this pause is taking quite some time.
But we do see a lot of utility coming out on the counter-terrorist side for this round in particular. We see everybody on the counter-terrorist side except for Enfo having a Molotov, so that's going to cut off any type of aggressive push that they might have. Anything that you might see like a really fast B push or anything you might see like that, that's really going to shut off those options for the terrorists in particular. So let's really pay attention this time as to what they do to deal with those Molotovs, maybe a quick smoke or something like that. We do see 3 smokes coming out on the side of Thunderstruck, so they might opt to do something a little bit fast, maybe through a Molotov.
I think they have to. Really, with the amount of utility they have, they don't have Molotovs to clear sites, so they need to make contact with these players on either side and try to kill them before they can lose the utility battle. We do see AIM pushing out onto Plat, but there are the bulk of the Thunderstruck players towards long. Here comes the flash in. A little bit of team flashing there. Mistimed, maybe. The bomb, scared to commit, but it has to inevitably. Kai going to pick up the info that there's no one else there, and it's going to be very quiet. I think Skull and I believe VicX, that is, yeah, are going to know that there's some aggression coming in here. Skull get caught out in the danger, almost sandwiched between 2 players, and VicX goes down to a CZ as well near long. And here comes the smokes to try and keep those players from rotating in from connector. This is not looking good for iNTACT.
Yeah, and Imperius stuck on the other side of door. He might be able to get through this Juliet position with that smoke. We do see one counter-terrorist able to rotate on to site, and Skull, the extra damage, helping Imperius there with the headshot high speed, able to pick up one with the Deagle as well, but Imperius chimes back onto Kemi, and now we see Vegaborn. He's on low HP, and so is high speed. Both terrorists combined not even equaling one normal terrorist health pool, and now we see high speed with the flank. But they're watching for it. He's going to go down to 6 HP. He has no armor right now. So, aim punch going to be a big deal for him. Imperius able to pick up Vegaborn. And now on 6 HP, surely this is the end for high speed.
24 seconds and a Deagle. 1 flashbang. He might try to save this weapon. He doesn't have armor. And of course, he gets shut down by Enfo. He needs to die and make sure the terrorists or counter-terrorists do not catch him after time and prevent him from gaining any money going into this next round. Takes a peek out, gets shut down very quickly. And we now see iNTACT chaining with 2 rounds. They didn't get ecoed back. We're probably going to see Thunderstruck on a full save here. We do have 1 smoke coming out. Nope, upgraded pistols. So I think you might try and see 1 quick play. Just all players meat grinding into 1 position. Smoke on connector maybe. And let's see how Skull decides to deal with the ramp. He gets 2 with the MP9. Does get traded with the Glocks, and another lovely shot by Vegaborn with the Glock towards VicX. The rest of the iNTACT players rotating through connector. Great spray downs coming in. I mean, that's what you expect against Glocks and no armor. Just spam your guns. the players are going to fall really easily.
Yeah, nice easy pickups. We saw good spamming through smoke there. Smoke isn't a force field, so we'd love to see that coming onto players with no armor. That picked up 1 through the smoke for Imperius, I believe. So always love to see that. Now the first gun round, the first true gun round of the half, and we see iNTACT opting for the double op setup. Very interesting there. And also, we do see High Speed being the opper for Thunderstruck. That's going to be the first we know of that. And nice headshot. Good shutdown there by the terrorist side onto VicX, pushing that long. They had good control there. And now we see 3 players and the bomb rotating quickly toward the A-long site.
I think VicX may have been caught out by the fact that most terrorist teams tend to default on the first gun round. Especially on Cobble, B-site seems to be the preferred way for terrorists to open up rounds. Maybe putting players down over the drop room, or at least putting several players towards that side of the map, but instead you had a 3-player Thunderstruck stack towards long, and VicX not even able to make a trade for his troubles, which is not what you want to see when he's peeking around that corner with an AWP with plenty of targets. You want him to at least get the 1, even if he does get traded. So, good job from Thunderstruck, taking out that aggression.
We do see the terrorist side split by that Molotov. Amazing job with the utility there by Skull. He's able to take out 1, but Vegaborn, easy to trade it out for him. And now we see all 4 terrorists onto the site and no control for iNTACT. Bomb will go down. And now, do we maybe see the save coming out this early? Surely they'll creep through the doors and at least try to get 1 or 2 here.
I think you definitely have to play this by feel. Enfo picks up a great shot towards Vegaborn, and Kai also, maybe some cheeky spray downs through wood. Didn't quite see High Speed's position. They do seem to know that a player is on site, and that is an angle that's going to favor the op. Wide peek in. We have a 2v1, but iNTACT, Curious, very low. Enfo, charging up the Deagle, manages to pick him off. Cheeky headshot, clipping the railing there, and that's, I mean, that's a clean retake. 3v4.
Yeah.
Players not in fantastic positions, but you see Thunderstruck players taking fights and kind of giving one-off duels to the iNTACT players, which is definitely going to favor the CT side. I mean, you see Enfo coming big with 2 op kills there in the retake where players peeked into his position. It's kind of not the retakes you want to see if you're on the T side. You definitely want your players to be wasting that time, trying to make it so even if you do get put in a 1v2 situation, your last player has a chance to play time and really shut down the round.
And now here we see a fast play up through A again for Thunderstruck. But all players up through the A ramp position and quick deagle kills there coming out for the Thunderstruck side. Imperius able to get 1 headshot, but quickly traded out by AIM. And Kai able to get 1 more, but now we see 2 players. Will they do the boost up through this Juliet position? That's going to be a little bit cheeky. Kai able to shut it down really quickly, and now they have the info that 1 more is under that, but they do see Vegaborn as well cross to the A long. He's able to get an M4, pick up 1 more. He's had a great half so far, only 5 rounds in, even though they're down. And now 1 counter-terrorist left for the iNTACT side, and Kemi will pick him up with the Deagle. Good round there to Thunderstruck on the eco.
Excellent pace. We saw 5 players going through lower A. Definitely caught CTs off guard. The positions they were playing, they had 2 players towards long, and there was just a quick Deagle onto one of them and a P250 rundown spray down on another, and that's pretty much the round. That's the A bomb site opened up, and they're able to trade out the remaining players. Better retake, even though that boost in Julie, I kind of want that player to lurk there a little bit more. Not necessarily try pushing his luck so early, but c'est la vie. Thunderstruck ends up picking up the round, and now iNTACT. Economy looks very weak, but this Mag 7 is going to make some money. Enfo only able to get 1. Kemi and AIM chiming in with kills. AIM with the second, and that is the B bomb site completely sundered. These last 2 iNTACT players are going to try to find a gun, see if they can save it into the next round.
We see 1 pushing up through the B long here, High Speed, able to take out VicX nice and easy, and they do have players watching toward the B doors through the connector, and now Skull, maybe just try to find a nice easy exit, pick yourself up an AK. He might play a little bit more patient here, but they are going to shut him off with the Molotovs as well.
Yeah, not very much to do for Skull here. The players are probably all going to rotate out, use the buddy system to get out of there. I wonder if he can find a gun. I'm not sure where Shiznit died. D Shiznit.
D Shiznit.
D Shiznit.
And now, the pacing for Thunderstruck is really what's been surprising to me the past few rounds. They've really just had a few quick executes right in a row here, and kind of caught iNTACT off guard both times, even though they were on an eco this past round. They didn't quite have players in position except for that mag to really stop players from coming off of that B platform.
that second mag shot was a little more on point, Enfo would have had a second kill there. And interesting, even though Enfo and some of the players have 6,000, they're going for another half buy in iNTACT. I don't necessarily mind this. Maybe they feel like they need all the utility to be able to really counter the terrorist aggression here, which is definitely a good strategy. We see this bundle of joy towards the B plat position here. All these small weapons, if they all do a little bit, the terrorists will fall one by one. Aim, trying to watch for A aggression. He does have VicX lurking below in the snake position.
And this is a good change of pace here by Thunderstruck. You see them instantly slow the pace down. They throw the nades out toward that broken wall, get a lot of damage onto Enfo because he was playing that same spot last round. And then they just completely shut down the pace to a near crawl and wait for the aggression. They're looking for anything different from iNTACT. They're trying to find their habits, try to see if they put pressure on them, if they change any pace. What are the counter-terrorists going to do? And this is actually an excellent T-side coming out from Thunderstruck so far as the pacing is concerned.
Let's see if VicX, let's see if they can find him here. Oh no, the timing. VicX looking the wrong direction, barely gets caught. He really could have been the thorn in the side of Thunderstruck there. The iNTACT players are going to know that A aggression is here. And with 30 seconds, Thunderstruck is going to commit to the site. Vegaborn and Kemi running up the ramp. Here comes the Molotovs and the utility. Oh, a little bit of mispick there. Skull picks up one on Kemi. Kai is lurking on site, but his position's Molotoved off. But it doesn't matter. The crossfires come in from iNTACT, and they still have a player on the site. The Nova coming out big. The last player only is 17 HP. This is perfect for the Nova on site. Kai, 8 seconds in the round, but he doesn't see the jump up coming up from aim. That was way too close.
And the MVP of that round, I have to say, was the HE into lower. I think that was from Enfo that did over, it had to have been 200 damage to the terrorist side right there. It put aim on that 17 HP and, you know, almost closed out the round for him single-handedly when those players were low to that, you know, able to get hit by that Nova with just a few pellets. And now, match pause. I think this will be to iNTACT. They're trying to change up the pace a little bit, probably. See what they can do on the counter-terrorist side now that they have all of their utility.
I mean, the timing there was kind of insane. This is one other problem with executing on a bomb site with 30 seconds is by the time you get in a position where you throw your Molotovs, you don't have time to actually let the Molotovs do the work to clear out the positions. So the players throw the Molotovs and then have to run towards the site, and the counter-terrorists with their eco guns just peek out of their angles that they're getting forced away from and just shoot them. Instead of them waiting nicely to get these shots with the AKs and the superior firepower. I mean, it's very rare to see a Nova go beyond like 1 kill in a round, let alone 2, and he almost picked up 3 and a clutch.
And they were from so far away too. It looked like he was no scoping in Call of Duty with a sniper right there.
No, that reminds me of the model 1887. Maybe a little akimbo slice.
A little Kimbo. It was really ridiculous to see the Nova doing good work there, and just not very many pellets needing to connect. They were all low from that HE. And now we also have full utility on Thunderstruck. So this is another true gun round, and we see that the single op setup coming out from iNTACT, they choose not to do the double op like they did on the first gun round. And I really think that's due to the pace that Thunderstruck is bringing on the gun rounds. They've been really high pace so far. And now, speaking of high pace, we see 4 players from Thunderstruck already toward the B bomb site, peeking out, trying to establish control toward the drop room as well. And aim going up a little bit, but it is Molotoved off. And that'll slow down the pace quite a bit here for Thunderstruck.
Using the cover of that AWP to try to make sure no players peek when you throw your utility. It's an excellent strategy by the terrorists, and now they've spread back into a default. Perhaps just seeing if they could get some cheeky picks on CT players that wanted to push up towards the plat position, which they have. And here's the question is, with how much the terrorists have been watching this, do they know what a player can be in the cubby position of plat? Enfo, cheeky leg through smoke, takes TSM aim down to 17 HP. That's some excellent damage. He could easily get sprayed down through a smoke later in the round, and that could have a huge impact. Bomb still towards B, and we're running out of time in the round for Thunderstruck to make decisions.
45 seconds left, and now, with 2 players low, 1 on each side, we do have a little bit of aggression coming out toward the B bomb site. Aim going up close with low HP. He's trying to check every angle and establish intelligence for his team. He does know that one's toward the statue. He gets one. It's traded out immediately by Kai, but that's going to be traded out instantly by Shiznit as well. Good headshot from him. Imperius coming out with 2 amazing headshots onto the terrorist. And Kemi, he trades one back at A. And now 2 versus 2, one coming through connector, but iNTACT knows and smokes it off immediately.
There's only 11 seconds left in this round. The terrorists have to make a move. They have to kill players. They do not have time to plant the bomb. And now you see them wildly running through smokes. They get the one, but okay.
Last
so
second.
I had to figure out what exactly happened there. There was enough time left in the round. They tried to plant the bomb. I don't think they got the bomb down before time, though. That might have been a misplay from iNTACT. Peeking to kill that player, even if he couldn't have gotten the bomb down in time. Maybe it was just a bait, but it works. Thunderstruck pick up 5 in a last-second grinder.
And that couldn't be closer right there. The last kill coming in literally as time ran out there. I mean, what can you say? If it wasn't a headshot, it wasn't a kill. So, amazing job from Kemi there, coming out with the final headshot.
Absolutely. And we will see iNTACT on the eco again. They've won eco rounds before, and they have players pushed up into fantastic positions to stop this. The terrorists are going to have to spend some utility, and Kai wisely backs off and gives a little more space, because he knows if he gets Molotovs or flashed, he's not going to be able to do anything from these positions. Still holding down plat, and we see 4 players pushing into lower A.
And now we have 3 terrorists coming in. They check the wrong side of the position. Imperius able to pick up 1. Shiznit picks up the 2 that are on that one side, though. And now AIM, he's going to come over drop. He's been playing this position a lot. He's going to find 1 through connector, but actually Kai hears him and picks him up before he's able to be traded out. And they are going to get the bomb down. It is the 3 versus 3, but only Deagles to the counter-terrorist side.
This is a smart idea from their op. The op is holding the Juliet position from Wood, and he is rewarded for his patience with a kill. Players probably not expecting Wood to be the first point of contact when they peek out. Not ready to pre-fire it.
And now, looking at the money here on the counter-terrorist side, Enfo might decide to save that MAC-10 going into the next round. They don't have a really strong buy. I think they might choose to force it, but really the economy isn't looking that great for iNTACT right now.
I don't know if they heard him running into lower A here. He finds an AK. That's definitely an upgrade. And it looks like he's going to escape their notice. Great job from Enfo there, no, or maybe his teammate giving him a tell that there is that powerful weapon down there at the bottom of lower. Sneaking out of the door, perfect timing. The players did not see him come out. Gets an AK to save into the next round, which is huge for the CT economy here. You definitely don't want to have to eco more times on CT than you have to. You want to be able to pick up full utility. Ooh, team knife coming in. Shiznit going down to 70, and that is not the Shiznit.
And that AK making it so that iNTACT's able to pick up full utility on every player here coming into this round. But again, the fast aggression here from a couple players on Thunderstruck toward the A side. And VicX hasn't really been able to have an answer so far for all of this A aggression. I think that maybe one more player toward the A side. Here it is. Skull comes in, but unfortunately, both players traded out before they're able to get anything here. And Vegaborn, he's already got the control of Juliet. And yeah, that's a headshot onto Imperius as he peeks around. Bomb going down. And now, all 5 players alive for Thunderstruck, and iNTACT is completely shut out of the B site.
This is the problem with those M4s. Sometimes they don't quite have the damage to kill a player in 4 shots, or even in the head. And we see that the 2 players that are incredibly low actually they have 3 players that are incredibly low on the Thunderstruck side, almost got caught in that crossfire spray down. Enfo finds the first person that's trying to hunt down the CT economy. I mean, this could have been a different round. We're, 40 HP away from having 3 more players on Thunderstruck dead.
1 HE could have really changed the round. You have a vision in your mind right now of an HE going on that platform as 2 of the terrorists push up to have no HP and just dying instantly, and the round changes completely. But that is, again, as you say, the fall of the M4. Sometimes you get that 94 and 4 and you just want to kill yourself.
So this is a really interesting T side coming from Thunderstruck. Even when they've been on slow defaults, they usually tend towards A. I mean, it seems like their players are just more comfortable taking it. But then a couple times now, even on gun rounds, they've just been sprinting through this lower door. And you see iNTACT not ready with the utility or the positions to get smokes or Molotovs down. VicX got caught with a flashbang and is forced to fight players immediately. TSA
TSM.
I just see his name and
Wow.
I just see TSM.
Yeah, TSM.
Info only has to do 20 damage. Could have hit him pretty much anywhere through that box and gotten the kill. And he does so, which is man advantage for the CTs. This is a welcome relief, but again, the A aggression from Thunderstruck. They have so many players pushed up, but will they check this cheeky boost position that VicX is up in?
And we'll see what he can do with it now. We have a few more rotators coming in from iNTACT, but are they going to be there in time? VicX know that there are two there. Tries to peek out, get another, is traded out by Vegaborn. Shiznit able to pick up one on Imperius as well. Skull able to pick up Shiznit right as well. And now Vegaborn back into sight. He's always getting a lot of headshots there toward the Juliet position, and he's planting the bomb again. And now, the 2 versus 2. Thunderstruck on site. And Enfo hit at the vent position, high speed, trades out one with the headshot there. Enfo, wow, quick flick headshot there onto the guy at A ramp. And Enfo with the deagle, trying to peek around, trying to find anybody playing. Wow, my God, the deagle headshot, quick flick from Enfo. That's 2 headshots on the quick flick, and that'll be a great defuse from him. And that'll be a 5th round going for iNTACT.
Not quite a spray down, but Enfo does put the spray down. He only needed 1 bullet with that deagle. Put down the last Thunderstruck player. That's a fantastic clutch for him, 1v2. Coming out of the peak room, both Terra's players arguably had quite a good advantage in their positions with him. But he makes the shots happen. 2 headshots, very quick. Just nice crosshair placement, getting that player on slope. Great clutch from Enfo.
But unfortunately, the economy is not too great after that win for iNTACT. They were on really low money before that. That means that this round, they are going to be on a low buy. We see 1 Nova, not too much utility coming out for Imperius. But they are able to shut down a little bit on Cobble. I think right now their main goals against Thunderstruck are to shut down the fast A aggression and the fast B aggression. Those are the 2 places that they've been really successful, is when they've taken something really aggressively. And you can see iNTACT already favoring those Molotovs to counter that.
Yeah, and this is probably where the Nova buy comes in on Kai's part, just making sure he has utility so he can spend those mollies towards plat and have a couple more for later on in the round on the team, so you're not spread too thin throughout the round on your utility usage, and shut down these early aggressions to kind of get some intel, force Thunderstruck to fall back into a default. I almost think that Thunderstruck might be better trying to fake an aggressive play and then do another aggressive play later in the round. But here we go. This is the meat grinder. See what that Nova can do. Nova gets 1 and is instantly traded. 2 players already down on the B side. Enfo hip-hopping around the site. Gets 1. Excellent movement coming out from him. Skull putting some great Molotovs down. Bomb just barely getting planted. We are in a 3v3 retake situation.
Wow, that Molotov doing a lot of damage as VicX comes on the flank, gets 1 on high speed, and now both Terrace on low HP. The 3 versus 2 advantage to the Terrace. VicX, great spray down for him, and he sees 1 towards Sandwich as well as Kemi gets the headshot. That'll be 3 for VicX. That's 3 for him in the round, triple, and dice defused by Enfo. And good pickups, nice 2 rounds in a row, 2 players alive, I think, on both for iNTACT. And so economy not looking amazing for them, but they are going to be able to rebuy into this round. But looks like Terra's side going to be able to keep buying.
We do see 2 rounds in a row after a considerable 6-round streak coming out from Thunderstruck. This is definitely some excellent momentum for iNTACT eSports. And Thunderstruck might be in trouble economically. They can probably buy for 1 more round, and then their loss bonus is starting to get into the position where they won't have the utility, they won't have AKs on every player. But all of their players, once again, are in lower. They seem kind of a little bit stuck this time. Hopefully the CTs are ready for this aggression up the slope.
And it does look like they have a couple players in position. The flashbang's coming out. They're going to have 1 player toward Juliet, 1 on the site. Kemi is looking there. VicX, he's all the way pushed up all the way through long. He's going to pick up 1. But now, the Terrace are in a bit of a weird position. They're kind of pinched between connector door and A long, and they're just kind of sitting on the site. So they do have some toward lower ramp as well, but now the counter terrorists actually seem to have the favorable position. But Kemi, he's going to get Imperius coming over the Juliet position. They're going to know where he's at. VicX, great spray down by him. Kai, headshot as well. Skull trades out on 1 onto Shiznit, and Kai able to pick up the last onto high speed in lower position.
That was an excellent shot by Kai. Yeah, so really cool CT strat coming out from iNTACT there. Just giving them the lower slope, letting them get on the site and plant the bomb. And they're already in amazing retake positions. You see the Thunderstruck players, once the bomb goes down, they don't really know what to do because they don't know what angles iNTACT is able to hold yet. So the terrorists aren't really able to get post-plant positions. They're not able to get a player in long that you have to worry about later in the round on the retake. They're not able to get a player on slope. They're just stuck on site. And iNTACT, players moving in at the same time, excellent timing on all of their peaks, able to trade out these players. And actually, I think they had 3 players alive at the end of that round as well.
Yeah, and now we see the same play coming out from iNTACT. We have 2 players pushed up toward the long A position, 3 players toward the B holding platform. And they're going to sit here and hold for this 4-person push from Thunderstruck, it looks like, coming to the A site.
Imperius needs to be careful. AIM is sitting beyond the smoke. He's using that, he does have an AK, rather. Sorry, I thought he was the player with the UMP. This is what I was talking about, though, is that some players having to sacrifice to get utility on the terrorist side because they have lost 3 rounds in a row. iNTACT trying to make a small comeback to take the CT side.
And not much aggression coming out here on the final round of the half from Thunderstruck. They do still have the majority of their players toward the A site, and we see most of them pushing up through long. But iNTACT is smartly fallen off and is making good use of their utility, holding off these players. You see that they still have a couple Molotovs, they still have a smoke, and that's really going to shut off any options from Thunderstruck to do a late execute here on the A side as soon as these flashes start to come in.
They need to get a Molotov down now. Those flashes are raining in. It's going to be Skull out here trying to hold down the players. This Molotov is not going to find him. I don't think these players are going to check the position, and they certainly don't. He gets a fantastic spray down. Let's see if he's able to find the last player. There's only 1 man remaining, and he is an AWP. A 1v4 is certainly too high of an order for him.
Info tries to get the quick pick there. He has gotten 1 already, but Imperius gets 1 in the last round of the half there. And so far, going in, we can't actually see the KD spread while we're in the halftime, unfortunately.
ESEA, please.
Please, ESEA, I just want to be able to see. But so far, it looked like VicX, lots of kills for him. Just he is the A anchor. They are pushing A lot. He was able to get 1 or 2 quite a few times before getting traded out. And Enfo getting a lot of kills that round with the AWP as well. And a lot of pistol kills from him as he pushes into sites as well and retakes. He's been doing a great job with the Deagle.
There's a fantastic 2K with the M4 I know Imperius had on the B site. Skull had that big 5.7 pistol round early on. Kai almost clutching a 1v3 with a Nova. Put that on your resume. It's a fun half early on. Great Counter-Strike. Lots of close rounds going both ways. But ultimately, getting a little bit streaky there. As the Terrorists winning 1 and 6 in a row. And then no more.
And now we do see all of the utility is burned out from Thunderstruck. They do have a kit onto Kemi, but they have used 2 HE grenades, 1 toward the drop, and I believe 1 toward the B long as well. So they are trying to shut out any B aggression. But we see the players of iNTACT mainly lingering toward the A site, and we do have a couple players pushing up long, and Skull, he's going to pick up 1 as he hears that for sure. Kemi rotating back toward B, and this is actually a really interesting position that they've been put in because they do have the call that they have the pick B, but all of the counter-terrorists are also rotating back. But Kai, phenomenal headshot onto the stairs, and they know 1 statue, not quite able to pick up the kill, but they do have flooding in all 5 terrorists onto the B bomb site, and they're going to be able to smoke off anything they want now. High speed. Quick kill from him, quick headshot, and aim. Knows that there's 1 here by the rock. Able to pick up another quick headshot from Enfo as he tries to go for the knife, and now the terrorists are into the 3 versus 2. Not that much of an advantage to them as we do see Skull on only 22 HP as well. And High Speed does have the Deagle. He's going to pick him up with only 1 shot. Imperius able to trade out 1 as well, and now the 2 versus 1. Can the terrorists get in good positions to trade each other out? They do have a good cross. Imperius, easy peek around the corner onto the pizza. They have a great crossfire from door. An amazing terrorist round from iNTACT.
Thought it was a little bit greedy for those Thunderstruck players to start running as they were pushing long A. I mean, how likely is it that iNTACT actually have nobody watching that push and to give them the intel that you're sprinting towards them? It's like the iNTACT was ready for it. You saw 1 player falling, the other player has to back off, and the quick rotation coming in really throws off the rest of Thunderstruck's timing and flow on their CT side in that pistol round.
I see the 45 damage HE coming out from AIM, and weird kind of dually buy from Vagaborn. It seems like some players have opted to start picking those up on eco rounds instead of like a CZ
it's
or a
the
5.7.
Who does that? Happy? No. I can't remember.
Somebody is one of the French players though, right?
But I
think
I don't
so.
know. I can't remember.
So.
One thing I do want to point out though is that I'm not sure CT players have quite adjusted to the new Glock. I I see them taking a lot of fights and angles that may have once favored it might have been an upside for a USP, but now that the Glock's a little bit more accurate, those players not necessarily as safe in those positions. Maybe we need to see more utility coming out from CTs, getting more flash peeks, so the terrorists are not able to use their aim to win the round on T-pistol.
And it is interesting, we've seen a lot of T-pistol rounds coming out ever since that Glock has been changed. And speaking of pistols, we have High Speed and Chemi, 2 deagle shots to them as iNTACT tries to push into the A bomb site. That'll be a lot of intel for them. We see the bomb is already rotating over toward the B bomb site. It seems like they almost expected those players to die, as yeah, it seems like they're going to just get picked off one at a time by trades here from the Thunderstruck side, as they only have 1 player left, 4 players left to Thunderstruck. And VicX, great headshot behind the rock there, but we do have 3 counter-terrorists left alive. He does get traded out by Vegaborn there.
Too many pistols, and you see, this is why I don't really think against an anti-eco you can sacrifice 2 players to kind of test out the waters towards A, especially not with any flashes to get into those angles either. It's just a clean clean eco round from Thunderstruck, and iNTACT will have to make some tough decisions with their buy. Skull already has a CZ. Let's see what the other iNTACT players buy up around him.
And we do see the pause coming out, and I think the reason for that is they know Thunderstruck is going to be on a low buy this round. They know that they did kill, actually, a couple of guys there, and that they didn't have any players really living into the previous round. So because of that, their economy isn't great. So they are probably going to end up calling the rebuy here, but if they choose the less greedy route, which looks like they're going to hover around the 14, 15, 1700 range, that's going to mean that they're going to want to buy fully next round with full utility.
You're absolutely right. You see 4-1. No, excuse me. That last player is going to stay towards A. It's a classic 3-2 setup. You don't want to get caught out by some A aggression, clearly, because they know that iNTACT's economy is not that strong. 2 players with half armor, mixed pistols. 1 player, Enfo, looks like he wants to buy an AWP and has decided to Glock only.
But we do see all of the terrorists toward the B bomb site, including the bomb. But we only have 3 counter-terrorists sitting here, but Shiznit seems to have control of the B plat. He knows that one's there. He gets a quick headshot pre-fire on Kai. And now all of the players over drop. AIM picks up 1. Vegaborn's able to pick up 1 from plat as well. And now it seems like they're going to try to go into connector to get anything done, but Enfo, they're kind of stuck here in the drop room, and they're kind of pinned by all the counter-terrorists, so the only way they can really go out right now is window, or boost back up
and
with the bomb.
Their spidey senses, they know that a player might be above them, but will they get the timing? They are stuck like a rat in a... I don't know.
In a drop
what do
room.
rats get? A rat in a drop room?
Like a rat in a drop room. That's a pretty well-known phrase, I think.
Hold on. VicX will make it out in the connector and pick up 2. He has the bomb, and he's running away. 12 HP and an AK. If he gets headshots, he can win this round. There's no offensive utility coming out from Vegaborn. Nothing to do damage to this low-health terrorist player. Is VicX going to hold the angle? He is. And Vegaborn knows it, pre-firing it, and does find 1 bullet onto VicX that will send him into the great beyond. Thunderstruck able to pick up a 9th round. It's 2 in a row for them. And we'll see if iNTACT... They did get the bomb down. I think we're going to see a buy coming out from them.
Yeah, I think we'll see the full buy. They'll actually be on pretty good utility if I see the money correctly. And so because of that, this will be the first true gun round of this half. So let's see how iNTACT handles it. As they do have... Yeah, they will have smokes and flashes at least. Maybe a couple Molotovs.
And
no Molotovs, actually. So that is going to be really tight for the terrorist side on this round.
Yeah, this is when I think you need to see a B execute with smokes come out or something like that. Maybe some drop room control. But because you don't have those Molotovs, the A site is going to be very difficult to take. You almost need to win a duel somewhere. Maybe just get a cheeky flashbang into a position. But iNTACT moving very slowly into this round.
Yeah, I think that the pace is a little bit slow for the utility that they have right now. You almost want to see quicker flashbangs over the top or something like that, just because of the lack of utility. However, maybe they're trying to play the long game with Thunderstruck's utility, trying to burn out a little bit more money. And, they are being pretty successful. You see quite a few nades being thrown on the Thunderstruck side. Only 3 of them having Molotovs left, not many smokes left as well. So at this point, actually, with only a couple smokes left. You might actually see a good push coming out here from iNTACT as they have a couple smokes as well.
Thunderstruck really should have gotten a kill there. You saw they were able to molly off the player that was hiding towards the entrance to be long. But he's late on the peak, not quite watching for the player as he actually tries to escape. So he can't spray him down with the M4. Slight tactical error could have given Thunderstruck a man advantage into this round. 40 seconds left. The counter-terrorists still have 2 Molotovs, a smoke, and some flashbangs. It's going to be difficult for iNTACT to be able to take this site quickly. They definitely need drop room control to be able to split the site, but it looks like they're intending to push out Plat. Vegaborn is able to pick up 1, 2, and almost a third. But this is 3 iNTACT players managing to barely escape getting sprayed down. They get the bomb down, and High Speed is left alone with an AWP. I think he has to save at this point. Even given the utility, it's going to be hard for him to find 3 T players with that AWP to be able to clutch the round. And he is indeed running away. iNTACT gotten away with murder. Low utility buy, but they do have the AKs, and they managed to take the B site.
And one of the amazing things about this round from iNTACT that might go unsaid is that they burned so much utility from the CTs before pushing out that will carry over into future rounds. They were able to burn thousands of dollars worth of economy on the counter-terrorist side just by simply waiting. I mean, really, the only aggression that they even had is one player a little bit pushed out onto the B platform there, and that's really all they showed. And just off of that, they were able to burn that much economy off of the counter-terrorists.
And I want to highlight, because Thunderstruck was only able to save 2 players in that round where they had a 4v2 against 2 players stuck in drop room with pistols, they had a lot of players that had to rebuy, 2 extra players that had to rebuy, and their economy is fairly shattered. That's why you see them on kind of a quasi-buy right now. There is High Speed with an AWP, some decent utility though. If he can find some kills on this B stack, then possibly there's a chance for them to win the round. But iNTACT looks like they are going to be executing some A pressure fairly quickly here, which is the exact wrong thing for Thunderstruck's positioning.
Yeah, Kemi is the only one here on A site, and we do see 1 coming over from the connector, 3 left on the B bomb site for Thunderstruck. But the bomb is toward the A site, and so this might be a good call coming out from iNTACT to kind of sit and linger over toward, and actually, no, make that a bad decision as a 3rd player rotates over toward the A bomb site. This could be a great read from Thunderstruck.
But we have seen iNTACT use a pistol round before where they put a lot of pressure, they take the positions, and then they quickly rotate towards B, which could possibly catch players out. I'm not sure. It is. TSM is dropped. Or above drop. TS aim. Gosh, I'm so bad at that. And here comes the fast execute. Kai probably going to be pushing up through the molly, but it's too much team damage and he can't. There's 2 players left on this A side to find. 1 in the sneaky position. Kemi picks up 1, actually able to pick up 2.
And wow, make that 4 for the counter-terrorist side as High Speed chimes in as well. And now suddenly Kai left alone on the A bomb site, but he is able to get the plant. And now that will go. Quick trade out from AIM. Easy defuse as 3 counter-terrorists are pushing the position of the bomb. And unfortunately, the round kind of falling apart there at the end for iNTACT, as it looked like they had a really good push. They had the site ready to be cleared out, but that little sneaky spot, the corner spot on site, has caught players out on both sides now.
Yeah, that's a 2K playing that spot on a pistol. Little taste of iNTACT's own medicine there, coming back to bite them in the second half of this game to bring it to an even 10-10 scoreline. And this is just 4 spies back and forth. Such a crazy game. It's almost like we're watching French Counter-Strike right now with the amount of pressure that's just going back and forth. Teams are clearly able to win these low econ buys on both sides of the map. We see iNTACT having a stack towards B with only VicX and a Deagle watching for A aggression. This is a pretty typical setup from them. They want to make a move towards that side of the map. We'll see if they're able to catch any players out, but that's a deep smoke from the counter-terrorist. And Kai is on the wrong side of the smoke, does end up falling. This is so smart from iNTACT. They know that that plat smoke means that the players are aggressing there, so they're able to take full connector control, and they have only 1 counter-terrorist to find on this site. He's full flashed. Surely the players can find him with the pistols. They finally do. Enfo does. Terrorists have position, but will the counter-terrorists, with their man advantage and plenty of utility, be able to find all the way back into this round.
And this is a really difficult position for iNTACT now. You see them trying to take really kind of one-and-done spots. They're going to try to trade each other out now, but Shiznit able to pick up a quick 2. And now Skull alone in the back of the site here, trying to pick up a couple. He's able to rotate in a little bit better position, picks up 2, is able to maybe pick up a 3rd, but no. Make that Vegaborn. Quick kill through the corner of the APC. And that will be 11 rounds to Thunderstruck. Going into the 22nd round, let's see how iNTACT's economy is going to be.
Vegaborn was 75 HP when that round ended. If one of those M4 bullets would have found his head over the top of that APC, we would have been a one-on-one with, excuse me, was that Skull?
Yeah.
Skull? With Skull almost clutching back a massive round. And you saw the lack of post-plant positions coming out from iNTACT, the amount of utility on Thunderstruck aiding them greatly. But 5 AKs and decent enough utility. And they elect to push through this molly fast. High speed with the whiff means Skull is able to punish him. And this is an open A site. Here comes the utility. There's already a player out of plat. Kemi trying to spray through the smoke. And Vegaborn able to find players through a little gap. Is he able to find a second? He is indeed. But Skull will shut him down. That's 2 for Skull in the round so far. Aim finds Imperious. And there goes the bomb down on site. But the last player is in a connector lurk.
And now the connector lurk might come in big here. He's going to find one, actually with the shot, but is able to pick it up in the end. Kai maybe knows there's one below him. Actually doesn't know. And Shiznit, he picked up a couple in that round, I think. But the big player for them that round was Vegaborn, coming through the smoke at Juliet, picking up 2 as they were pushing into the A bomb site. That really shut down the pressure and momentum from iNTACT as they were rotating in.
Yeah, he's just able to play on either side of that smoke. Excellent angles for him. Those are off angles, and sometimes the smoke graphics can definitely be a little deceptive. Able to give an advantage to players on either side, just depending on how the smoke flows.
And now,
Kai, that guy.
Quick economy from iNTACT. CZ's rushing a little bit toward the B bomb side, but it is shut down by a couple of HE nades coming out. And Kai, a little bit of aggressive position toward the plat. He hears a couple by him. Let's see if he converts any off of this. He could quick peek and see Shiznit's head right around him. He does hear him.
If Shiznit is playing on 4x3, that's an excellent swing from Kai. He gets 2! That's 2 players on B flat. He's able to lift through the molly, but does get sprayed down through the box. Aim, I think Skull was coming over drop there. Auto Director, what are you doing? Oh, Auto Director was not on.
Auto Director, please. However, we are in the 2v2 to iNTACT eSports. That's an advantage to the terrorist side as they take the B side. Both players for the counter-terrorist trapped outside the door position, but Bomb in an unfortunate position behind the rock, and they are going to have to peek this door position to get it, and they don't have any utility. They were on an eco this round, but it is only an AWP, so they are able to shoulder peek it, and Kemi not able to get the spray through the door. No players on iNTACT taking any damage at all, but they are able to pick up the bomb.
And that A1S ammo coming into play here. He only has 27 rounds left. He's going to have to find Imperious lurking by the rock position. The quick peek around does allow VicX to get the bomb down. That's a fantastic HE.
Wow, that landed right on him.
Has no armor and only a Tech 9, and I believe the players know exactly where he is. That's Kemi. Spotting player, switching to the USP. Knows he doesn't have armor. Knows he's low. That's an easy 2v1 situation for Thunderstruck. We're now making it up to 13-10. This is starting to be danger territory for iNTACT here. They will have a full buy, very full buy, coming into this round. And we see that while all cylinders are firing, as far as the frags go on the iNTACT side, it's not all these rounds working out their way. 4 defuses so far in the second half.
And really, it's been about the post plants. Thunderstruck's pacing has been a little bit different on the retake. So far, iNTACT hasn't been able to get into good post plants after the bomb has gone down. For instance, in that round, you saw the bomb going down, and one player at Pizza there trying to, stop the guy coming in from the E-box. He isn't able to get that kill, but he isn't able to get traded either. So because of that, the instant 2v1, no trade coming out, and it's kind of been that way the whole half for iNTACT. As the bomb goes down, they lose a player or 2 players, and no trades come out because of that. And so when that's happening on your T side, you really have to think about changing up your pace and how you use your utility. That last round in particular, they didn't have any utility to stop the counter terrorists from retaking. But in these post plant positions, that's really where they seem to be struggling in this half.
And I'm assuming this is going to be an iNTACT pause coming in, trying to make sure that they can win this round. They're going to be planning out a strategy to find a weakness in the Thunderstruck defense and be able to get some momentum moving into this half.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck's economy, it's not the most fantastic thing I've ever seen, so a couple rounds from the Terrorist will break them and give iNTACT an excellent chance to win this game, but this round is do or die. We do see full loss bonus coming out in these later rounds, so we can see some pretty decent buying for the rest of the half if iNTACT start losing more rounds. But they really need to win this one.
Yeah, right now is where you really have to say we have something about your counter-terrorist side figured out. They've taken the time out. They have the full utility. And now, like you said, make or break to iNTACT. Now we see 4 counter-terrorists going over toward the B-bomb site. We have the bomb rotating over toward the B-bomb site as well. 2 players from iNTACT toward the A side. And a little boost coming up here from Thunderstruck. They've done this a couple times with AIM. He's had that corner position and hasn't really been punished for it so far, so they're going to keep going for that. But VicX, really fast play into lower A here. They know that only one has been playing on this A-bomb site. They might have a really good read here.
They do have 2 on the bomb site now, and 1 in connector, which is fantastic if they do try to push the bomb towards B. Here comes the plat aggression. They know the players have rotated, and they're going to catch the counter-terrorist, not in favorable positions to deal with this long aggression, but AIM, the flank from behind, is able to pick up Skull, and Shiznit finds Enfo. AIM is able to pick up 2 with that boosted up drop position. Kai has to go mental in this round if he wants to win it on 13 HP and a 1v3, and he's stuck on the bomb site with the bomb held down by AIM at B long still. This is not a good... And there's the AWP through the fading smoke. Vegaborn is able to clutch out the round. Or not clutch out the round, but use his man advantage and his
Finish out the round.
to finish the round.
Yeah, again, that was a great fake from iNTACT, but they were really shut down by 1 gap, which was that plat boost.
I mean,
the drop boost.
The drop boost. That was phenomenal coming out from Thunderstruck. So risky to do. I mean, if any player is, watching that or pre-firing that spot, you can easily get sprayed down. It's very common. He gets away with it and gets 2 on the flank, completely shuts down the round, secures the bomb. Fast play coming out from iNTACT here, though. They're going to use this ump and low utility to get on the site. Kai, an excellent entry, but he is going to get shut down. Oh, that's Skull getting shut down. And now Kai getting shut down. Wow, Shiznit with a 3-man spray down. The fast aggression from iNTACT getting shut down, and this looks like they're just not able to find counter-terrorists playing common positions. We did see, I mean, they had the first entry there, and it looked like they had the site, but maybe not getting a smoke down or a Molotov in the right position, and the counter-terrorists are able to hold it down.
Yeah, I think the Molotov beneath on that sidewalk position from Thunderstruck really shut down the momentum coming in from iNTACT there. You saw a couple players wanting to push out of that flat position and not able to get off of the broken wall. They were forced to go down the stairs because of that Molotov. And because of that, they split the terrorists into 2 groups of 2 and were able to shut them down relatively easily on both fronts. And so now we see iNTACT looking a little broken, heading toward the A-bomb site, but their last chance in this round, the 26th round of the half, we do have Thunderstruck on match point.
We see almost no utility. Galil coming out from iNTACT. This is max loss bonus, but unfortunately, not getting the bomb down is also going to hurt their economy. They can't get those extra nades to help them in this take. You see them electing to go towards A, maybe not spending as much presence so they don't get an over-rotate coming out from Thunderstruck to deal with. But they're going to have to deal with some cheeky angles being held by Thunderstruck on this site. There's a player at cannons and a player holding the default plant position. Or not really default anymore, but the corner plant position. Safe plant. And here comes iNTACT, pushing up the lower ramp.
Fast kill from Kemi. First headshot on, but VicX, 1 from him. Enfo, trade on to Vegaborn. And now, looks like A site going to iNTACT, and they have 4 players alive. No rotations yet come in from Thunderstruck, and they're completely shut off through the connector position. They don't have a flank either. Either way, iNTACT does have a player watching for that. And now, great crossfires established from iNTACT. They do have 1 player toward long, 1 toward lower, and 2 on site, and they're going to be able to cover all of the angles from the players pushing in.
The last 2 players, Thunderstruck, very low, and there are tons of terrorists that can spray them down. Very easy for iNTACT. That's a difficult retake 3-on-4 with almost no utility, only a Molotov and 2 flashbangs, I believe, to try to get out of those connector positions. Saw the guy at Juliet got his gun barrel spotted and took a lot of damage, gets him very low, makes his job only that much more difficult. And iNTACT clawing their way back. An 11th round. 4 more to bring it to a tie here.
If they are able to pick up this round, the economy of Thunderstruck will look horrible. Surely they'll pick up another if they are able to play correctly. But they do have to pick up this round in order for that to happen. So, bombs for B site.
They know. Skull is aware. He has to know this time. He has to check this angle. That Kobe did 60 damage. Both of those players on the counter boost getting kind of wrecked by it. This is such a dangerous angle, and AIM is able to punish them again from that same position. How is this happening?
Quick peek out with the CZ while Skull is holding the angle. He isn't expecting the aggression, and now we see Shiznit picking up one on the other side, and suddenly we're down to the 3 versus 5, and we see the bomb still stuck over by itself toward the B site.
This is not a good buy from Thunderstruck. They even overbuy kits and don't have very much utility, but they're able to get 2 openings. I mean, probably openings that shouldn't have happened either, and iNTACT are in a terrible position, honestly. Going into their 27th round, they don't have any margin for error here, and unfortunately, Vegaborn has picked up Imperious towards B plat. That's the bomb down as well. Enfo able to pick up 1. Let's see if he can find a second player here. Not necessarily aware he's behind the box. Surely, yep, Shiznit's going to peek out. Knows the grenade is being thrown. We only have 1 more iNTACT player. That's VicX. Fantastically skilled player. He's playing cat and mouse around the smoke. Does get the spray down, but he has 3 more enemies to find. Sees the flank through the smoke coming. Now he only has 2. The bomb in 16 seconds, though. There's no time. He doesn't have time to clear all these angles with the op. He needs to make some moves. Looks like he's going to try to plant in the smoke, and he might get away with it. The coup player is not in an excellent position to stop him. The USP spray down through smoke, though, and that's going to be the defuse, and the 16th round iNTACT is unfortunately going to be sent home in the second match of their ESEA season.
Yeah, and a few really heartbreaking rounds there for iNTACT when they seemed to have anyway, great post-plant positions, or sorry, have the plant but not be able to get into great post-plant positions, and the pace from the counter-terrorist side really throwing them off, I think, on the retakes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there was a lot of pretty simple mistakes that could be avoided. I almost want the terrorists to spend. I mean, I know it's expensive to spend a molly to clear that guy out of that drop position, but I mean, he got 3 massive kills that just entirely changed rounds from that position.
And not only that, they were actually using that drop boost position a couple rounds previous, and they were able to get a significant amount of information off of that play, even before it was capitalized into kills. I think it was 2 rounds or 3 rounds before that. They used that position a couple rounds in a row just to get intel to make sure that nobody was pushing toward B. And really, that shuts down your A take as well, because when you have 3 CTs holding A, it's a really hard take into the A side, even with 5 terrorists.
Absolutely, and on both sides of the map, that sneaky little corner on the bomb site, pistol players going huge and turning some massive rounds around that really should have been won by both teams that were aggressing on the site. And I mean, when we were obviously we're pro iNTACT, so when we saw iNTACT get away with it, I believe it was Skull there on the bomb site. We were stoked, but then having it happen to them later in the game, it's kind of a tragedy, and especially you see that that round had a massive impact on the game. Probably would have put the counter-terrorists on a full save after that round, because that was a cheeky eco. Very early, one of those early force buys, and that would have had a massive impact on the second half, and it probably would have come out in the favor of iNTACT if they would have won that. That's an extra 2 or 3 rounds on the board, just right there, and that would have pushed them at almost 14 rounds.
Yeah, I think that overall, iNTACT played a really good game. I think that if they were able to convert, a couple more kills on a couple of players here and there, that were playing angles that, they're angles that you only see once in a game, but you still have to know that they're coming. Like that side angle, that's a perfect example. We keep coming back to it, but it's like you kind of have to know on an eco that that's coming.
Or at least just have a player that's dedicated to watching that. And then if the player loses a battle to the enemy in that position, and then he gets the bomb planter, that's fine. But what we saw both times was the bomb planter getting killed first,
yeah,
and then the second player getting picked up and not able to trade. which is just, oh, you hate to see that.
Yeah,
But
and so if you know you work on a couple of those things, you come back and those are easy conversion rounds, you know, and then suddenly you win that half by 4 rounds instead of lose it by 4 rounds. You know,
and the force by train was going back and forth on both sides this game. Tons of crazy ecos and rounds that we were just kind of surprised that they turned out the way they did. And that's just, I mean, that's the experience factor coming in of being able to play with your team. And we saw another thing that I saw that I was a little bit critical of iNTACT was when they were against the eco and they had those 2 players push up A, and just kind of to body the site, but it was a fake. But then both of those players died and no trades.
Right, we did talk about that.
And then there was a 5v3, and they get on the B side and they get the plant, but at that point it's the 5v3 almost favors the counter terrorists because they know where you are. They have guns. They can trade you and win the round.
And so and so, you know, really easy stuff that, you know, comes from just playing, I think, as a team a little bit more, you know, just getting together in the servers more and more. And so things like that, really easy quick fixes. You know, everybody's shooting well, everybody's aiming well. You know, really. As far as their counter-terrorist side, looked great. They were putting Molotovs in the right positions. They were, you know, establishing the right crossfires the whole time. And actually, I would call the CT half a win for them. Oh, yeah. I mean, anything over 6 rounds, you know, for me is a pretty big deal on Cobblestone. I really like to see higher than 6 round halves on CT. And so, you know, as far as their counter-terrorist side, I thought it looked really, really nice.
Yeah, I loved some of the maturity that came out from them on their CT side later on in the game, like how we saw them elect to just give up lower completely and have both players deliberately stay long and kind of retake the site. And at that point, you saw Thunderstruck didn't really know what to do. They weren't able to take post-plant positions, and that turned into a really easy round for iNTACT. And that's a fantastic example of a very mature CT play, where you do something that is kind of psychologically like abhorrent. Like you're like, oh no, like I just let them have the site. Like what? But I mean,
you know where they are, right?
Yeah. And you know where they are and you know where the players are. You have the utility, you have the intel, you have the positions to just make the retake happen. The terrorists do get better economy in those rounds, but I mean, it was late in the second half that they started doing that. So at that point, the economy game matters slightly less.
But yeah, great game overall. Definitely phenomenal game to I've already forgotten the name of the other team. Thunderstruck. I keep on wanting to say Thunderclap. But great game to Thunderstruck. And they looked great on Terra's side, so great job to them, and on CT side too, obviously. They look really good. And
because there were a couple rounds that just could have gone either way, and you end up losing the game. Not a terrible scoreline either. Like, you just have to shrug this one off. Cobble's a tough map.
For sure.
That is one thing about these ESEA seasons, is because you do have to play every map in the map pool, and you have to figure these out. Not necessarily all the players in your team love those maps, but you have to play them anyway. So we will, I believe that's their second Cobble map. What is the next map in the season?
Check this out. I want to say Nuke off the top of my head, but I might just be crazy.
Inferno. So we're going into two Inferno maps. Our next match is not scheduled yet. I'll make sure and post on Twitter. That's at HawpT tweets. That's HAWP_tweets.
And you can catch me at GT_Savage. Savage with a 3 to finish it off instead of an E. And I think that'll be us wrapping up for the evening.
A couple more shout outs. Do not be hasty.
Oh,
shout out to our boys at iNTACT.
Yeah, of course.
iNTACT eSports. Of course. If you search that on Twitter, I'm sure you can find them as well. They have a website, and if you need scheduling information, you want to watch any more matches, go ahead and take a look at that as well.
Yeah. And also this weekend, guys, again, I'm going to shout it out. This weekend, we do have Game Tyrant Expo here. You can catch that on VG Bootcamp stream. For the most part, there's one other side stream you can check out. I forgot the name of it for the life of me, but you can check out their Twitter at Game Tyrant Expo and catch that this weekend. There's $100,000 in prize pools.
Yeah.
and tons of great fighting game action, Rocket League, all kinds of stuff.
And I will make sure to get a link at the low bar for the highlight of this video, and it will be exported to YouTube as well, where those links will also be. So you can watch on any viewing platform, except all the shitty ones.
Yeah, we don't care about those, though.
No.
All right. Anyway, thanks, guys.
That's us signing off, guys. Have a good night.